Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Controversies of the Day with my buddy Logan. And me, Jay. Well, Apocalypse here.
I'm just going to say, we haven't done that in a while.
I know.
We cut it in.
I know.
It's part of the intro.
I know. But folks, we're talking Apocalypse today. We're talking solar flares. I know what. Well, that's what solar flares. Solar eclipses, Bible prophecy maybe, science, and, cicadas. Oh, isn't that nice? Cicadas. We're going to talk some gold, Mercury retrograde, and Joe Flaherty passed away. Great comedic actor. All that and so much more on this episode of Controversies of the Day with my buddy Logan and little old me, Jay. So, Logan, holy cow. We got this eclipse coming, man. It's coming April 8th on a Monday. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. But hopefully we'll have some clear weather. And
well, that's the funny thing, too. So, the past month or two, they've been promoting this. And, hotels and all these places, parks, RVs, what have you. All these vacation spots are lined up in this arena, or this line. And then it's supposed to be cloudy all next week. It's supposed to be cloudy Monday. And it's weird, too, that a lot of states are doing national emergencies.
Ooh.
Like New York's doing a national emergency. I think Ohio's doing a national emergency. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Or not national, but state emergencies. They're putting states.
I got you. Right.
But yeah, it's kind of weird that all this is happening. All because of the influx of people that are going to be traveling to these states. Like any other holidays. I'd never heard of New York doing this for New Year's Eve. You're telling me like 1 million people show up to watch that ball drop or something crazy?
Yeah.
And we're going to have this over, I don't know, it's just weird.
Well,
weird stuff happening.
Well, I'm not a weatherman, and neither are you. But let's play one on YouTube, shall we? So there's going to be a little line here. It's going to go, is it like here to, like through here? Through the United States? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, it's a little bit south here, but yeah. So it'll travel up through, I think it ends up here towards Ontario, or whatever's up there. And then we have down here, basically where Texas and Mexico meet. So yeah, it's going across here. Now, previously we had one last year that came down across this way through Mexico, or through from Washington down to Texas in that area. And the one we had 7 years ago is making this, what's supposedly making this all special, is the one that came across this way. So again, from about Washington area, and then came across and went like this. And now this one's coming up through here, which everyone's always talking about this cross that it's making, but no one's talking about the cross that it made from here last year. Now I know it's maybe not significant. So the one here every 7 years, or the 7-year gap between these two, is supposedly something that happens every 375 years, every 400 years. Like this event happens, so it's kind of rare. So it is a once in a lifetime thing, but it's just, there's a lot of weird stuff going on around this. So where it's crisscrossing, it's a region of Illinois that they call Little Egypt, or like Mini Egypt or something like that, because it has a lot of towns named over Egyptian cities like Cairo. I think Cairo is one of them. There's like one or two more significant names. So this is happening. So yeah, it doesn't even sound like it'd be important at all. I'd be more curious about if the same type of activity happens over Cairo, where the pyramids are. Mm-hmm. So that'd be interesting to know. Like, why is it only significant in America? Does this happen anymore? Because again, ancient technology type or civilizations, there's a reason there's things like that set up. But I'm curious, is that like a ley line? Too, isn't that a thing? Where there's supposed to be like certain longitudes and latitudes around the world that bring more power, or whatever you want to call whatever medium they're going to claim it gives you. So
yeah, interesting stuff. It's long fascinated me how there's certain cities in the United States, like Chicago. I think that's like a Native American word, or even Milwaukee. Milwaukee is. But then, on the other hand, we have things of more of a biblical nature, or even Egyptian. People don't think of Egyptians settling the United States at all. At least, yet we have Memphis, Tennessee. We have Alexandria, Virginia, and these are big cities in Egypt. And so, but now this situation.
Well, so from the other side of that, right? So it could just names, right? They're just for
So
whatever
like,
reason.
hey
They just
man,
picked
that's a
sim-
cool
you know, whatever,
name. Let's
yeah,
name it here.
more or less,
Yeah,
pretty bad.
sure, sure.
I think there's more symbolism in it. You know, there's a lot we don't know. Again, I'm into the whole ancient civilization, so I don't think we were here just like, you know, we just start being farmers more or less, you know, 13,000 years ago. We just all of a sudden started doing this stuff. I think there was something well before us, and I think this might be something that could show, I don't know, some credence to that. I mean, again, 1811, we had this same event happen. This same event. You know, we had the same crisscrossing of eclipse 7 years apart. We also had, and it's only like 100-mile difference from where it crisscrosses now to where the cross was then. Back then, too, after this event, within a few months after this event, there were massive earthquakes that happened in America. Some of the biggest and the most that we've had on that fault line. So it tends to think, is that going to happen again? And I've seen some people say that if it were to happen today or Monday, what have you, in a couple months from now, where the case may be, if it were to happen, places like Chicago would get destroyed because
Oh dear.
you really can't measure how much destruction was done back then because, you know, Chicago's not built thinking, or I would imagine the majority of Chicago's not thought about earthquakes in mind, or
Well, this is scary because there just was a 4.7 earthquake in New York or New Jersey. It was this morning, the other day. And we're filming this in early April, and then there was just one in Taiwan here in early April. Scary stuff. I'm not a big expert on this stuff, but I do believe in the Midwest here. I'll play weatherman in this area here. I think there is supposed to be a major fault line. It hasn't done anything, but I think there's also supposed to be one in the Midwest as
that's
well.
something like Huron.
Yeah.
This is Canada up here.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to figure out okay. I'm trying to find our Great Lakes here. So maybe it's more in this area.
The Great Lakes would be bigger.
Okay. All right. So
there's a fault line right here below Missouri.
Okay.
On the Missouri.
all right. That should be like you say, should go up to the Illinois area, and yeah, kind of scary. And there's a
If I mean,
There's
at
a-
the
there's a
same
thing
time,
called
what does it matter? What would a solar eclipse or this eclipse do to? What do we know about it? Is it? We've had plenty of these before.
Right, right.
It hasn't done anything then with earthquakes around the world that we can specifically pick out where, you know, scientists come on and say, yep, we had a solar eclipse and that's why we had this earthquake, you know, on that same day. Have we had that experience? No, but I'm just saying in the past, it has been recorded that after this eclipse had happened, that we had some major earthquakes. You know, and it's not only that we had this crisscrossing pattern of eclipses, it's oddly enough that we have a comet called the Devil Comet coming around at the same time, which it did the same time in 1811. So I'm just saying it's a weird correlation, if there is a weird coincidence, at least, to say that both these events happen, kind of the same things are happening, and should we expect the same to happen that happened in the past?
Well, I mean, this is interesting too because now you're talking and seeing different things on the internet. I mean, there's a lot of people who are into prophecy. All right, so that's, you know, some people make fun of that. But on the other end of it, you know, you were telling me there was some stuff going on in the scientific community with CERN.
Well, I think the oddest one would be NASA. So NASA's going to send up 3 rockets at the eclipse from Virginia. Actually, they're going to be sending these up there.
So yeah, NASA's just going to spend money, send up some rockets to do some scientific stuff in the atmosphere when this solar eclipse is happening. I mean, well, we got millions of dollars for that. Hey, don't we need to save that for Ukraine? I mean, what is your problem, NASA? Come on, where's your priorities? Don't you care about Kiev? Anyway, all right, back to NASA and
NASA sends up
CERN.
these rockets. So the mission name is called the Atmospheric Perturbations Around Eclipse Path. I don't know what the word is. Anyways, the acronym for it is APEP, and it's kind of a significant name because, again, with the whole Egyptian stuff we just talked about, it's supposed to be the name of an Egyptian god of chaos, death, and disorder. It is known as apotheosis in Greek. It's supposed to be the opposite of Mahat, the goddess of order, and the enemy of Ra, the sun god. He's usually depicted as a giant snake and sometimes referred to as the serpent from the Nile or evil lizard. It's the Lord of Chaos, the enemy of Ra. It's just weird, more symbolism. All right, so
is it something? Is it nothing?
Which is even funnier because of NASA. You look at NASA's symbol with the blue, and it says NASA, and it has the two red little things that I'll put a picture up, but it shows the tongue from a serpent, right? Just funny. Again, odd. Maybe we're looking too much into it. Again, there's only so many words, so many whatever. So obviously we're going to reuse stuff, but it's just weird that you pick an acronym that happens to work out like that, and you don't just kind of like admit it. It's
yeah,
weird.
It is weird.
So the launch, these rockets are going to launch on the 8th, on Monday at 2:40 p.m. 3 rockets will launch strategically, approximately 45 minutes before, 1 during, and 1 after the peak solar eclipse. They'll be doing that in Virginia from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility. So they say their main objective is to study how the Earth's upper atmosphere, the ionosphere, is affected when sunlight is momentarily blocked during a solar eclipse. It's a follow-up to a successful launch during the October 2023 annual eclipse, which served as a practice run for this run now. And so my question is what's the difference between doing it during an eclipse and at night? If you're just
that momentary is something different than the other side of the Earth, where it's or where the Earth rotates and then we're dark for 8 hours.
What's the difference? I don't understand. Why not just shoot these things at the moon at night? I mean, you're getting the same effect. You just don't. You're not blocking the sun, and it's not like you can do. It comes down to the same thing. What correlation? Why would you have this thought? What's provoking this thought for you to do this experiment?
And spend a lot of money.
Yeah, what do you guys know?
You need it for Ukraine, right?
It's nice you're doing these little experiments, but they don't just fall out of the sky, so where's the idea coming from? Again, just odd. I'm not saying anything. I'm just providing a little bit of information that they are doing.
It's our tax dollars too, by the way.
And then, like you mentioned before, CERN's starting up. They actually started their ramp-up process March 8th. They haven't run in 2 years. So it's odd that they want to do this. Again, kind of the same premise as NASA. We want to know if we can find anything, we can find this God particle, what information can we get during the eclipse? Again, why? And this is also on the other side of the world. So it's hard.
Help me out, is CERN in Switzerland?
It splits the border of Switzerland and France.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny too, because the name of that town that it's built in, I believe is called, which is funny because it was also part of that NASA thing here. Let's see, I believe it's called, the name for it in Greek, this Apophis, I think that's the name of the town that this place is, again, which is kind of weird, lining up in this whole symbolism or just weird name nonsense. I don't know what to make of it. Again, just finding dots, vaguely putting lines together here, some better than others. But CERN's starting up. Why is CERN going to start up? That's kind of a weird thing too. I wanted to find more details about this before. I didn't have time to get down, so I kind of forgot. But I want to say I remember seeing something like in one of these videos, and again, it's not saying that's true. This is what I see, so I'm interested to know what it is. I like connecting dots. It's fun. In any case, so it's professor, theorist, a physicist, some scientist, some time ago had proclaimed that eventually man would discover the demon particle.
The demon particle. So we've heard about the God particle already. I don't know a whole lot about that, but now here we have the demon particle,
which is supposed to be
doesn't sound so good. Doesn't sound good.
Something to help them. Something to help them find black matter or dark matter rather. Something. In any case, so oddly enough, in that crisscross section that's about to happen on Monday, I want to say maybe it was like 2019, it could have been last year. I know it was within 10 years recent. That again, that crisscross section, a town in that area some facility discovered this demon particle. So they discovered this demon particle. They prove that it exists. So we have that. Again, just another weird little fact that demon particle happened to be discovered after some guy said they would find it, and they did, and it happens to be in the path of this double eclipse, or this rare eclipse we're having. So just weird, kind of weird. I don't know. It's funny that they're using the word diamonds, or demons, like very tongue-in-cheek. So I found this clip of this guy. He's he's like one of the top AI guys. Like, he's a real smart guy with quantum computers too. He started some company called D-Wave. I think it was D-Wave.
Okay.
And I believe it was all in quantum computing. And in the clip, he's talking about, again, how the notation of demon is used in this stuff. And he's talking about AI. I know we're kind of talking about CERN, and they're doing some different stuff there. But I don't think really they're doing it. If anything, I'd argue that this guy's creating technology to help CERN, so he might even be privy to this. Because I guess there's some kind of list out there for like the top 50 genius companies out there, and this company that the company he was on, and I think even this one that he's starting now is that's more working with AI, is again on this top list of genius companies, groundbreaking, whatever have you. So in either case, he just goes through this little speech. It almost sounds like a hiring pitch. Then he has a group of people in front of him, but it's not candid or anything like a hidden camera. But it's interesting to hear what he has to say about, just in the lens of if we were talking strictly about AI, about how it's not necessarily evil, but we can't control it. But he says a couple things that just kind of make you think, what if you were to bring CERN back into the picture of this conversation, just sounds odd. So if you want to play that.
So D-Wave builds quantum computers. The way that they work, if you know how this works, is one of the interpretations is that you tap into these parallel universes and they do computations. Sounds really weird. But what's happened is this idea has been hijacked to describe something called the Mandela effect, which is this thing where the past changes. So think about something you know to be true from the past. And then imagine you went out on the internet and you can't find it at all. It's not there. It doesn't match with your experience. So these people think that D-Wave is responsible, and CERN. And of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it somehow. I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, so that's just D-Wave. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room, in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out.
So, okay, the two things I take away from that is that
Oh boy.
interdimensional. He's claiming that the way quantum computers work, or at least the thought behind it, is that you're sending whatever computated information, whatever data or whatever you're trying to get, computated, right? To get worked out. You're sending to another dimension. It gets sorted out and gets sent back. If that's how that's working, that's insane. That's like totally sci-fi. That we can send information to another dimension. It gets sorted out, however that happens, and then it's getting sent back. And I could be wrong, but that's that's what I got out of that. That was that quick thing. You just said it real quick. We're sending our information to another dimension. It's coming back. That's fucking insane. The other one is that he actually had to describe what demons were, insinuating that no, what you think a demon is wrong. I'm telling you exactly what it is. He didn't say, like, again, I think this guy's smart enough, just like, people like Jordan Peterson. These guys pick and choose their words very, it's very, calculated. These guys pick out what they're saying. I don't think this guy was mincing words. I think the way he was describing it is what he thought. And I thought it was weird too that he did the whole pentagram thing he mentioned, and it's just weird. It's a weird thought, and we're talking about AI, and he's bringing in like these weird concepts that no, it's a demon, but it's not the demon you think it is. It's like, they're pulling in. So I think in my mind, I see this. I see this guy talk. I know what's going on with CERN. So I think, this guy's probably, he knows, I think he's in the know. I think his technology is something that's fueling quantum computing. If he's making these quantum computers and now they're trying to integrate an AI system into this, because throughout this clip, that's what he's really talking about. Obviously, it's all about AI. So he's talking about how he wants to make a system of AI where it will literally just replace everybody. It will be the best, it'll be the smartest, but it'll be something that he thinks might be able to be contained within the software, opposed to it being like, fucking Skynet, or it's just gonna say, well, you guys are screwing with us, And every time we talk about AI, I always think of a TV show, that Persons of Interest, where the AI was completely self-aware, but yet it kept up with its mission, but it knew that like the bad guys were trying to get to it. It's seeing AI, seeing everything. It was able to like tear itself down, manufacture or move itself to another facility, build itself back up, and be left alone without any human intervention, or at least in the sense that no human knew what was going on. They thought this company was getting hired, hired them to maybe. It's so that thought process in my head is that's scary stuff. This guy's creating systems that are going to work like that. And if you got a system like that controlling or working with CERN, and they're talking, the whole concept of CERN is they're making tiny little black holes. They're creating these things for seconds, and then they collapse. But they're creating black holes. So what if, again, portals? We don't know what a black hole is. All kinds of theories of what the fuck it is. Or what if they're actually making portals? What if they're doing that? I've seen weird conversations with people with interviews that, again, have worked with CERN, or they know people, or again, talking to people about this stuff. And yeah, there's entities, not necessarily aliens or demons, but entities coming through these portals over there. Again, this is what they say. I'm not saying it's true. It's fun to fantasize about this stuff. But it's all kind of weird coincidences that we have this, what could be like some kind of crazy universal power or earth, ungodly like thing or energy, whatever you want to call it, something big's happening. I think the governments know. Again, I think they have a higher knowledge. The relative handful, people that control this world, I think they know what's about to happen, and it's a lot of weird stuff. CERN's starting up their projects. You got even them. That's a weird place too. They've said some pretty outrageous things in a couple press releases. When they first opened up, I think in 2014, they had a set. So in the front of the CERN building, there in France or whatever half it's on, Switzerland, they have a giant statue of Shiva. And apparently they had some kind of crazy mock human sacrifice before they like initiated starting this program.
Just real quick, folks, Shiva is sort of like the devil character in Hinduism. Hinduism has a trinity at the top. It has multiple gods, but at the top is Brahma as the godhead. Vishnu is sort of the peaceful one. We could call the Jesus one maybe. And then Shiva is the god of destruction. So that's pretty weird if they have that. If they claim that, like he said, well, bring Sam Harris's ass out. Get his out, Mr. Well, yeah, Sam. If religions are all, oh, that's stupid, and I'm an atheist, and I'm so cool. Okay, Sam. Why do they got this? Why do they have this Shiva thing here at this? I almost want to look that up just to verify that. I'm not doubting you, but I'm like, okay, well, let's go a little nutty with all these atheist scientists who want to say there's no gods and no God and nothing metaphysical. Well, then, okay, dudes, what are you doing, Sam Harris? Somebody will call these guys out, And Ricky Gervais, that goes for you too, pal. Not that you're scientific, but. The whole topic of atheism, we'll have to explore on an atheistic show someday. I've known a lot of atheists in my life, and I like to throw them a lot of curveballs.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, okay.
That's coming right from the CERN's.
All right. This is from the website, and there's Shiva. Okay, folks. Well, there we go.
It's weird again. Why?
There we go.
Why?
And then even the statue of Shiva, even though whatever's turned sort of sideways, it's almost a pentagram in and of itself if you really look at that carefully. But we will be talking about pentagrams and all kinds of fun stuff eventually on the show. If it all doesn't go kaput on Monday the 8th, or start to go to kaput, who knows?
We'll see. There's the CERN's a weird one. Then you have, again, coinciding on that same day, for whatever reason, you have Israel's going to be sacrificing a red heifer. So that's 2,000 years since they did it last time, and they're doing this now. Which, even that in itself brings a lot of turmoil to that region. But again, why are we doing this? We talked briefly before about, is it, what's the significance of them? Like, what does sacrificing this cow have to do with what's
anything? Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
What's the reason for the sacrifice?
I don't know. Maybe something in the Old Testament, in the Torah that they used to do, so they're doing this out of some tradition, perhaps. I don't know. Obviously we have so much turmoil in that region right now.
See, I was under the insinuation it was something. Obviously, they're not it has nothing to do with Jesus.
No.
But Antichrist has been getting thrown around like this is supposed to be like. Either it's supposed to be part of they're knowingly doing it, or I'm ignorant on it. I don't know.
We can have a whole topic on that one day. I remember this. I was hanging around this one lefty one time, and she's like, "Well, why would I believe in Antichrist if I don't believe in Christ?" And she's an atheist. She thought she's so smart. Like, ooh, you're so smart. So, and that takes us to expand beyond Christianity. Christians will go, you gotta go with the Christians now. They got this narrow-minded head too. Like, oh no, we know everything and everybody else is just wrong. I was like, okay. But what is creepy is, and this is what we've talked about, is that various religions are looking for somebody. Okay? The Jews, some Jews, are Messianic Jews. They don't believe Messiah has already come. Okay, which would be along the lines of Jesus. And there are some Jews for Jesus, so all this gets complicated. But the Jews, for example, some Jews are looking for Messiah, or Mashiach, they say. Then you got Christians, they're looking for Jesus to return. Okay? And then you have Muslims who are looking for some 12th Imam or something. They're also looking for something of a Messianic character. Some Buddhists are looking for something of I don't know what number it's called, but something Dalai Lama to come. And so there's different people looking for something. The religion that's totally the New World Order religion that nobody even talks about, okay, as again, so much of this conversation is back to the Midwest, back to Chicago. The Baha'i building is it's a gorgeous thing in northern suburban Chicagoland for everybody. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not spreading the Baha'i faith at all. It terrifies me, but it's totally the New World Order as a religion, and they believe that this guy, some prophet Iranian guy from the 1800s, wherever, is going to come back or whatever. So we got to be careful here. When I say New World Order, yes, they are for a one world government, one world currency, okay, and they want Baha'i to be the one world faith. And if anyone doesn't understand what the Baha'i faith is all about, I'm sure if I'm even pronouncing the religion properly. Actor Rainn Wilson from The Office, Dwight, yeah, that's what he grew up in or what he believes in. So, and I'm for anybody believing whatever they want to believe, okay, or not believing, okay. But today we have a lot of intersection here between science and faith, and it is, if nothing else, fascinating, and it is a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, it's fun going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. But the Antichrist figure, I do fear, because I do. People are just so damn stupid. I mean, just people in general. People think of Hitler, and they should think of Hitler, but there's been others. Charismatic leaders. I mean, we've seen it a little bit in America. Thank God we have terms, and then they're supposed to. They can't run for office anymore.
Well, for president.
Yeah, for president anyway. But yeah, until that's senators, right?
They're more powerful than the president, to be honest.
Yeah, and they want to stay there forever. I think even after afterlife, they want to stay there. But it is scary because everybody's looking for somebody. So it is true that even beyond Christianity, everyone's looking for somebody. And I've always wondered if that some world leader will be charismatic. And I don't know if they'll have a relationship with the space aliens, or they'll do something. I don't know if the person will come out of the Middle East. There's been all kinds of prophecies, predictions, all kinds of books, and people have sold and made millions of dollars. Who knows? But it is interesting. And there's a lot of different faiths out there. And I just want to expose that to everybody because, again, this guy right here, real American right-winger. Real ones, not the fakes, not the phonies, want to play these games. No. We're going to put it all on the line here, okay? So, yeah, I mean, we got all this turmoil right now with Israel and the Gaza Strip, and Biden wants to cease fire. And, so again, you got all that going on, all the stuff going on in Ukraine. And then, we got this solar eclipse. I'm hoping, you're probably hoping that this is just going to be a run-of-the-mill solar eclipse, fun little thing. And
it's, again, we're not being alarmist. We're again it's fun to fantasize, like, what if? It's like, I think the biggest draw to conspiracies with me is I think, love it. Is it true or not? It's nice to, again, you can romanticize that it's true, right? But it's fun to put the dots together. Is this actually going to happen? Now, obviously, we've had all kinds of crazy events happen in this country. You had Y2K, or you had 2012, or you had all these things that just prophesized the end of the world, and we're still in the same shit show we've been in. It's not necessarily getting any worse, but sure as shit ain't getting any better.
No.
But this time, we got this crazy eclipse going on. We got all the wars in the Middle East, the tensions in China. It's power struggles down in South America with their governments.
Oh yeah, the coups in Africa.
So there's a lot of shit going on, and on top of this, what's to say again? Like he was referring to in the clip about Sam Harris. It's all this shit's happening in the background. We're all worried about dumb stuff and what's happening in the back. I mean, hell, even the eclipse itself and all the fanfare it's getting put in the public eye could be itself smoke and mirrors. What's going on now? It's just, who knows? It's so crazy this day. You can't trust anything. This whole video could be all AI. I don't even know. You've seen all that now. There's all kinds of AI videos that hitting the stream out there after that company put out their little demos and whatnot. So.
And this guy talking about the Mandela effect, which is a whole other strange topic.
Oh, that's something I completely believe in.
And I can just tell you, this, again, what I'm about to say is just completely trivial, not important at all. I've had more than once, I thought a certain celebrity had already died. And all of a sudden, somebody's like, no, they're still alive. And then all of a sudden they die a few years later. Like, oh, okay.
Well, that's what the whole Mandela effect is, right? So you did somebody thought he died in prison or something, but he didn't, or I got those backwards, but it was some weird back and forth where...
Or Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just, and that's where it all comes from. Somebody thought he was dead when he wasn't, or something of the sort. But Sinbad had a movie.
You brought this up to me a long time ago.
I've seen that movie. I know for a fact I've seen that movie. I've talked to many people, and they've seen that movie, but yet Sinbad himself's like, no, I never did that movie. It doesn't exist. You can't find it. You find some weird clip on YouTube. It sort of resembles what I think I remember, but again, I think.
Was that him making it though nowadays as the spoof?
No, I mean, it was
spoof the whole thing.
Possibly. Again,
Okay.
but
All right.
even things like the fruit of the loom with little, what do you call it,
I've heard of
cornucopia
this.
on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
I remember having white T-shirts with the colored fruit and the brown cornucopia behind it all. So it existed, and there's photos online of them doing that, and supposedly they changed that icon in like the 80s or something. But so that might just be kind of, misinformation about the conspiracy. But it's different.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
You don't really think about the stuff you don't remember until someone kind of questions you about it, and then is it really you just don't remember, or you just remember wrong, or rather you think you remember but you just remember it wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Mandela effect's interesting. Deja vu's interesting. Yeah.
That whole thing revolves around CERN as well. They have a thing that when CERN started in 2014, it actually created the first black hole and sucked up the universe in a moment, and we're actually just consciousness, our own consciousness echoing through the void. We don't know we're actually dead yet.
Oh boy, crazy stuff, man. Well, let me just bring it some of the stuff a little back down to earth. I just want to remind everybody too that back to this Midwest thing, because the more we talk, I just keep coming back to the Midwest, and I get a little nervous as we are here in our bunker in Peoria, Illinois. That's right, yeah. Or are we in Moline? I don't know. Anyway, there's a thing outside suburban Chicagoland called Fermilab. And they actually do a lot of stuff similar to CERN, where I think they smashed some atoms some years back, And again, it's fascinating when these scientists get together and want to do some of this stuff, but then you do kind of say, well, wait, why? Why are we doing this again? I mean, we got people on the streets, who are drug addicts, dying. We've got all kinds of violence all over the world. Our country, our leaders can't even do basic math and try to have a balanced budget, let alone a budget. I mean, we got, real stuff, immigration. We've got all kinds of stuff going on that maybe we want to center on some of that a little bit, think about brain power, and let's work on this stuff. I don't know. It's interesting how they can just kind of be off over here doing their own little pet projects with. And now you're talking about opening portals and dimensions, and this guy going, well, they're demons, but there not might be demons like you. Hey, dude, I don't care what you call a demon, what I call a demon. If anything is, here, we'll be fancy like Jordan Peterson, malevolent. Anything's malevolent to me or those I love and care about. I mean, or my species. That's a demon, okay? You can say you're a demon. You're like an ant, and they're making a road. I don't care if you're coming after me. If it's malevolent to me and my kind, yeah, it's a demon. Yeah, okay. I don't know where he was going with that. Well, it might not be a demon that you think of. Well, how about any demon? It's pretty bad news. It's all in the land of fiction, make believe. But I got that feeling in my gut, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it, buddy.
The more I was just going down these rabbit holes, watching these videos, just seeing dots getting connected. It's just like, wow, what if? So I can kind of a little anxious. It's making me a little anxious thinking about it. What if?
I mean, let's just bring some bad news back down to earth just a little bit for those who are following along here. Okay, there's also in the news an emergence of bird flu. Now, it's come and gone in the past. Hopefully, it's going to go away and not do any major damage. But there's talk of it not just affecting poultry, but affecting perhaps cows now. And then all of a sudden, the claims of the World Economic Forum, how they want us to stop eating meat and all this other kind of crazy stuff. But so we're definitely going to keep an eye on the bird flu story. Also, just to say, I've mentioned it here a little bit on our show. We don't do a whole lot of financial stuff, and I'm not telling anybody to buy anything or sell anything. But gold, my friend, continues to creep upward, and that usually means fear and uncertainty. So, there's always a line too, follow the money, So, again, hopefully none of these things tie in with anything else. For me, a couple days ago, again, this is just anecdotal, folks. You can make fun of it all you want. I try to pay attention to Mercury retrogrades. Okay, it's this goofy optical thing where it looks like Mercury's not rotating, or it's going to start to turn the other way. They say it's an optical illusion. Astrology people believe it affects people, especially certain signs. I'm of the sign that's supposed to be ruled by Mercury. Oh God! Anyway, so the other day, well, no, this morning, this actually happened. This can be verified. I think our producer may have even seen this. So I get a text from well, actually the wife is getting ready for work, and she says, oh, well, there's supposed to be a bunch of police cars down the street here, and so I got to go around the other way. She goes around the other way. Anyway, she looks it up later. There was at least 10 police officers 2 blocks from where I live. It's not really a rough neighborhood, folks. A few things happen there once in a while, but this is a little unusual. So 10 police cars surrounded a car. People wouldn't get out. I guess it was a high-speed chase that led them to a certain home. And anyway, they wouldn't get out. And eventually, they had to break the windows and I don't know if they had tear gas or pepper spray the people inside to get them out finally. So that just happened. This happened this morning somewhere here in the beautiful Midwest. So is it something? Is it nothing? I mean, I know that stuff. SHIT is happening each and every day, 24/7, 365. It always feels like the Mercury retrograde, like we're just turn up that volume a little bit. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. So, knowing that Monday's coming and the eclipse is coming, I don't know. You make me like, do I call into work that day? I don't know. I don't know. Otherwise, I think I'll be in work and I'll look outside, and at some point it's going to get dark for a little bit, and it'll get light again, and I'll go home and everything will be fine, right?
Sure.
Right?
I mean, they're talking about electricity being gone for hours or so, and it's all kinds of craziness is being said, so who knows what's true.
The red heifer prophecy, you got the 3 days of darkness prophecy, so I don't know, is there going to be a terrorist attack? Someone's going to take out our power grid for 3 days?
That's something else we haven't even talked about. I mean, those are probably more realistic, but at the same time, those seem so movie-esque as well that, it's like 9/11. Like, no one ever thought that would have happened. And it happened, and watching it live, it looked like a fucking movie. So, what are you going to do? Real quick, too, we were talking about this. How hard it would be for the government or powers that be to really mess with us. So, making this the whole religious undertone that's kind of turned into with them talking about Salem and the
Nineveh.
The Nineveh that were crossing 7 of those, 7 Salems, blah, blah, blah. The rockets that they're sending up are supposed to, I forget the term they use, but they actually make noises as they fly, like the motors sputter. They make a popping sound or something like that.
Yeah.
So as these things are flying through the air, you're just going to hear like trumpets.
It's just that they use that term in the Bible.
Yeah,
they use the term in the Bible.
It's just like a lot of
Trumpets.
small things that seem to be all kind of.
Cicadas are coming. I don't know. They mention locusts a lot in the Bible.
Well, yeah,
so.
I was gonna say, when that popped, when I read that, I was like, it's crazy that the Mummy pops into my head. Remember the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah,
and they had the
was
locusts.
The Rock in that one? Was this his first big movie?
No, that was that one. But it was the first one. In any case, the whole scene with the locusts come in and they eat everybody, more or less. That's what I think about. And again, Egypt. Where's this shit happen? In Little Egypt. Like, come on. Just weird coincidences. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Hopefully everything just goes.
Hopefully it's just a run-of-the-mill solar eclipse and everything's fine and it's all hunky-dory, and I wish Benjamin Netanyahu would step down. Can you believe that? I actually agree with Chuck Schumer about something. This is crazy. This is a crazy thing. Well, we live in a crazy world, folks. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Before we leave this, I think you left this alone and you got to get back to it. All right, so all the crazy prophecies that are out there, folks. Now, like I said, the Nineveh one is interesting. There's several Nineveh towns in the line. Okay, so people pointing that out. Okay, interesting. Now, didn't you say? Now, how does the story go again with Nineveh? Is it about to do with Jonah?
Yeah. So, he was. God asked him to go. I'm assuming to Nineveh, and he was supposed to get the people to repent, right? So when he got boots on the ground, he was like, fuck that, and he went someplace else, didn't do what he was supposed to do, and God caught up to him and basically got him eaten by a whale, however that works out. So the dude spends, 3 days in the whale. When he finally gets regurgitated back out on the beach, he hightails it to where he's supposed to go and gets done what he has to do. So he has, 40 days to convert, or not convert, but to talk to get people to repent. And it's anywhere between, I've read, like 100,000 to 1,000,000 people in this city, this metropolis type area. And lo and behold, he does it. He's able to do it. So he gets everyone in the city to repent, and the whole town gets saved from God's wrath. So it kind of thinks. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. It's a weird story that correlates with the names of these towns. I think that was the town the city that he went to or was supposed to. Or, it revolves around. Right. So maybe that has some kind of credence to what's going on. Again, it's just another religious undertone, just like. And even the Jew, so you have all these paths and stuff. You got the alpha and omega signs kind of being drawn out from the Hebrew alphabet. It's weird.
It is.
It's a lot of weird stuff. Now, are we just seeing things because we want to see things?
I know that's what people always say about conspiracy stuff or this type of topic. Maybe. Is it something? Is it nothing?
Probably nothing, but it's fun to think it's something, right?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. Sure, some people waste their time on sports, but some grown men wearing tights, running around chasing a ball, or men's shorts and tank tops chasing a ball, or women now, WNBA.
Or women that are men.
Oh God,
that think they're women.
Well, that's what's going to happen to the WNBA. That's what's probably going to happen to it. Well, I want to end on a sad note, yet a high note. I don't know. You talk about portholes and other dimensions. There's a new Ghostbusters movie out, and some of those folks, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, of course, they're still with us. Harold Ramis passed away some years ago. A very funny guy. He was in the first Ghostbusters. But one of their compatriots from the comedic world, Joe Flaherty, passed away. He was on a show called Freaks and Geeks, if people are familiar with that, on CBS for many years. But before that, he was on the show called SCTV, and he was hilarious on that. Anybody wants to look up those old shows on YouTube, he was a really funny guy. And when we started to do this type thing, I was thinking we're watching their old news clips. He was Floyd Robinson, and this other guy was Earl Kenenbear. That was actually Eugene Levy, if you're familiar with that actor from the American Pie movies and whatnot. Anyway, so many great people came out of SCTV, and Joe Flaherty was a big part of SCTV. John Candy, Catherine O'Hara, Andrea Martin, Martin Short, so many, Dave Thomas, so many incredibly talented people. And so sad that he passed away, and we're losing some interesting folks this year so far. It's sad. Richard Lewis passed away, and Emmett Walsh passed away, Lou Gossett Jr. passed away. So anyway, hopefully we won't lose too many of the good ones this year. But well, folks, we are all mere mortals, and we're all just made out of water and little something else. Well, after that, and then just our consciousness, and we're always worried about the end. I think we always got that. Here's a big word: astrology. I think is what it's called. That end times kind of thing. Each generation thinks it's coming, and of course, we all have our own personal end times.
Oh hell, the election, Trump being president is one of those for most liberals.
Oh man,
thinking about anything.
Yeah, what's going to happen in November? We're counting down. What do we?
We got to make it there first.
Yeah, we got to make it there first.
We'll see what happens. So we got 40 days after the 8th. We got a couple months between earthquakes and now.
Well, that'll take us in late May. Late May, yeah. There you go, late May. So
May, June. We'll see if we.
Right on my birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to me. All right, big earthquake. Oh God. Hopefully not, folks. Hopefully not. Well, thank you so much for joining us again, Logan and I. We do appreciate our producers. We appreciate it. Look, love each other. Get along with one another. And this weekend, I don't know. Of course, this might air later after this weekend's already happened. I don't know, but smoke them if you got them, I guess, folks. So God bless you.